What's up guys, welcome back to episode 4 of the daily crypto and forex analysis show here on the Smith's Trading YouTube channel. Before we do jump into this episode and I start breaking down some analysis for you guys, if you like the content, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and also come and join us in our Discord community if you are a trader. First up in today's episode, we have an analysis breakdown on Euro US dollar. So as you can see, there is a very typical rising channel that is formed. We have 3 points of contact on support and 3 points of contact on the resistance. So if I zoom in to the price action over the last few hours, the market is closed right now. It is Friday. The market closed about an hour ago. So it will resume trading on Monday, and we'll begin to develop an idea as to whether price action will bounce or break to the downside here. So if I get my arrow tool, I'll show you, if we do bounce, most likely price action will attempt to breach the 0.618, which presents quite a nice long opportunity. So I'll be paying attention on Monday to take a long. I haven't taken a long yet because the ideal trade for me personally would actually be to be able to catch a short, because that presents more profit for us and in my opinion less risk. So if I go back to my arrow tool and I'll show you, if we do break to the downside, I'll expect a short breakdown, and then let me get my arrow tool back again. A push back up that kind of retests. It's very typical of any sort of breakout, whether that be up or down, that price action comes back, revisits that level briefly as a retest to briefly consolidate, essentially to fuel the move ahead, and then a move back down to, if I get my arrow tool, a move back down. So I'm predicting, that we do drop down to this ray here. I've accidentally added another ray, let me delete that. So I'm predicting that we do drop down to this ray here, which, as you can see, support lies from a few wicks that I've highlighted. So it's also the 0.236 Fibonacci level. So if I now go on to the daily chart, we are currently on the 4-hour chart. I'll be able to show you where the Fibonacci that I've drawn stems from. So as you can see, the Fibonacci retracement tool stems from the high here, which is just peaked above the 200 EMA, which I deem to be the most important range high for this move, down to the range low, and the 0.236 Fibonacci level that I've mentioned for our pullback target lies between 1.1 and 1.09, and I'll be taking profits within this region. I will leave some of my position in the market to catch a further downside to the range low down here between the 0 fib level and the ray that I've highlighted. So if I zoom out further, now we're on the daily chart, you can see the overall most important trend is actually a downtrend. So I'll draw that line for you guys. We've just cut below this downtrend here, but the sentiment at the moment is very much a downtrend. So on this short, that if we do break to the downside, which isn't confirmed yet, we're waiting until Monday when the market opens to confirm that. So if we do break to the downside, yes, I'll be taking profits at these regions. However, because the sentiment on the daily chart is a strong downtrend, there is a very good chance that we do breach this 0 level and create a lower low. So I'll be looking to really try to hold this long as much as possible to utilize the downtrend on the daily to get as much profit as possible off the table. Next up, we have an analysis on ETH US dollar. So as you can see, ETH has been attempting to breach the overhead resistance of the current falling channel that it's in. Max momentum has also crossed to the upside with a long signal in conjunction with that attempt. However, we are rejecting at the moment. We haven't reached above this key level. I think it's quite important to watch what Bitcoin does. So if Bitcoin decides to drop lower than it currently is, I think that ETH will also follow that, reject this overhead and create a lower low. However, Bitcoin looks quite strong at the moment. It hasn't dropped just yet, and many people are speculating, including myself, that Bitcoin is going to go up here. But if Bitcoin does go up here, I expect ETH to breach this level, which is a very nice long opportunity. Adversely, as I've just said, if Bitcoin goes down, I'll be looking to short the rejection of this channel. So there is a good trade setup for both short and long here, which is my preferred trading style. I like to go with the market and look to enter either a break to the upside of whatever pattern I'm following, or a break to the downside with confirmation, typically on ETH, as to what Bitcoin is doing. That is what I look for most of the time. So if I now zoom out on my chart, I can show you where this channel stems from, so you have an idea of the overall picture on Ethereum. So the overall falling channel that we're currently in stems from the highs of 2019 throughout the back end of 2019 into the beginning of this year. You can see that there is a very clear falling channel pattern, and the sentiment on the daily is a downtrend. By all means, the sentiment on the weekly and monthly is still a very good uptrend on Ethereum. However, on the daily we are in downtrend. Just for reference, we are at $142 on Ethereum, which is quite low. So if you're looking to scale into like a long-term position, we are getting close to a level in which it would be a good idea to take a long on Ethereum. I think that if we break to the upside of this falling channel, that is a very good long opportunity for a long-term trade, as I do speculate that Ethereum over the next year or two will breach above the all-time high, which is very high. It's well above $1,000, so that's more than 10 times returns. So if we do break to the downside, which in the next few days or weeks, which is very possible, and we go back down to sort of the all-time low, well, not all-time low, but the range low on the chart that you can see, that'll be a very good long opportunity for you guys to scale into your long positions. And I do predict that if we do break to the downside here not break to the downside, reject this falling channel, that we will go back down to sort of under $100, which is a prime time to take long positions on Ethereum. A break to the upside will likely see a short pump up to the 200 EMA, which you can see is typically where my arrow ends, and then we'll see a pullback that sort of retests that region down to the 0.236 Fibonacci level, just under $150. So just to recap on that, if we do break to the upside, I expect price action to quickly test that 200 EMA, come back down to retest that fib level before we do see a continuation of an uptrend forming, which presents a good opportunity for you guys to enter if you do miss the breakout.